Insurance companies absolutely make no sense. Here's a bit of MC for you regarding insurance. My son has severe cerebral palsy. He is predominantly wheelchair-bound unless we put him into his stander. This is a device that we can strap him into and tilt it up into a position that has him standing instead of sitting. We use that piece of equipment with him every day for at least an hour, sometimes twice a day. It's a vital part of his daily activities. Well, because we use that stander so much, the safety belt, harness have both worn out. I put in a request to our medical equipment vendor to order us a new set of belts and harness so he can continue using his stander. This should have been no problem as it's just a replacement part for existing equipment that our insurance has previously bought. The vendor did that, but I got a letter from insurance denying the claim. I called Aetna to find out what was going on. The person who took the call said that they will no longer pay for replacement parts. For the record, the hip belt is $252, and the chest harness is $175. A mere $427 replacement order for them versus several thousand if I were to order a whole new stander. I spent an hour arguing with her about how the safety equipment is worn out and it's not safe to use it without them because he would simply fall out of it. That it is vital to its use to have those items she suggested I pay for them out of pocket, and again, she reiterated that the policy no longer covers replacement parts for equipment. A light bulb finally flipped on in my head. I asked if I were to order a whole new stander, will my policy cover it? She said yes. So that's exactly what I've done. I emailed via my chart to my son's PMR doctor requesting the prescription for a new stander to be sent to the vendor. At the vendor appointment, we got squeezed in 2 weeks later. I told them what all happened on the phone call with Aetna. Both the therapist and the vendor's representative at the appointment busted out laughing. My son now has a pending order for a brand new Lecky stander with a motorized hydraulic lifting system, new activity tray, and all the safety harnesses, belts, including extra thigh supports for an approximate total of $5,900 for all these bells and whistles. 3 days ago, I got a call from the equipment vendor telling me that the order has been approved and the equipment is being ordered from the manufacturer. I expect to have it delivered in a few more weeks depending on logistics. Thanks, Aetna. I only wanted a $252 hip belt and $175 chest harness, but we will gladly use a whole new stander. That Aetna has to pay at 100% because our yearly deductible has been met due to his medical condition. So Aetna has to pay almost $6,000 instead of $425. I plan on donating the other stander, which is only 4.5 years old, to Shriners Hospital. Hopefully one of their patients can benefit from it. Edit to add. I'm trying to read all the comments. Thank you to everyone who is offering the great advice. Some of the information I'm learning for the first time. I've been steadily making calls this morning and rereading our policy to make sure I haven't missed anything. I greatly appreciate you all. From someone with an aunt who had CP, I am in stitches here. My grandma would fight with Medicaid for any equipment my aunt needed. This is classic. I had neck cancer in 2020. It was rough as hell, but chemo and radiation resolved it. Then in later 2021 the same cancer was diagnosed in my chest. Neck still clear. No recurrence. My radiologist had to go through 4 appeals with my Cigna insurance for CyberKnife radiation, which he said I had to have. The standard radiation that I had in 2020, XRT, is the standard radiation for my chest, but would have overlapped some areas radiated in 2020. My radiologist said that could not happen, and Cigna still denied it 3 times. Worst part, I don't have a Cigna plan. I work for a local government which self-funds its health insurance. My job pays all claims. Cigna just manages it and sends payment. But it doesn't cost Cigna a dime. Edit. Spelling to fix stupid autocorrect. This is awesome. I'm a pharmacy tech, so I deal with insurance plenty, and you're right. They make 0 sense. I've seen them deny coverage for amoxicillin before. It wasn't an error either. It was a straight product not covered rejection. I too have Aetna, and I too am now making them pay an arm and a leg for my medications because they don't cover the one that works for me. I had allergic reactions to the medications that were similar and covered. So now instead of $700 once a month, they're paying $2,100 every 2 weeks. This would all be solved if they'd just let me have the medication that worked before. But nope. They made the game so you're playing by their stupid rules. Oh yeah, the hospital can get new belts at a negotiated price and fix the old one up easy. Good call on donating. Nice MC overall. As much as it makes sense for everybody involved to replace the parts on the existing unit, part of the reason they won't is because of liability. Who gets the bill if the repaired parts are installed incorrectly, and an injury occurs? They'd rather just pay for a new one and not have that responsibility. The US healthcare system is broken. But your MC is absolutely delicious. And cheers to you and your kiddo. Mom was diabetic. She used a Humalog mix pen. Insurance company said they wouldn't pay for the pens anymore and I would have to manually mix from vials. I told them she gives herself shots but couldn't mix them herself, and I refused to give them to her. I said guess they'll have to pay for a nurse to give her shots 3 times a day if needed. They paid for the pens. Used to work in insurance. It sounds like the insurance company failed to inform you of your rights to appeal and grievance for denied claims. I bet your state's Department of Insurance would be interested in hearing about this story. They would definitely have some questions for Aetna. Somebody in manglement at Aetna sure is costing the company money. Serves them right. I feel like we almost need a profession like a lawyer, CPA, to specifically represent our interest. Dealing with insurance companies. They've just gotten so convoluted in favor of people who have actually figured out how to navigate their Byzantine policies. It sounds like the representative was hinting for you to get a complete new one. This reminds me of the time my mother had robotic-assisted surgery. Her insurance wouldn't cover the $2,000 extra, stating that it wasn't necessary and could have the normal surgery. The surgery took half the time. A total of 10 milliliters blood loss. Laparoscopic instead of a large incision site. And only stayed overnight in hospital instead of up to a week. She tried to explain to the lady on the phone that she had no problem paying the $2,000, but they should review their policy and encourage more people to do the surgery that way because she just saved them at least twice that amount. I wonder if a spare set of straps could have been rolled in with the initial purchase and been approved by insurance or not. I bet that those will last long enough for you to have insurance kick in and get an entire new one. Though. Pretty nice malicious compliance, and hats off for the donation of existing device. Also, I hope the best for your son and tell him I wished him well from all my heart. Good for you. Your son deserves the upgrade! Exclamation mark. The person on the phone helped you out more than you know. She gave you the loophole around her company's stupid rules without exposing herself. Person on the phone did you solid. So as someone who went on Medicaid, you should look into something called an ABLE account. It's a checking account for disabled people. And the money in it, up to $100K, plus $15K able to add per year, cannot count against you when applying for Medicaid. Basically, they will require you to have less than say $2K. But you can have $95K in the ABLE account which they can't make you spend or get rid of. https://www.ssa.gov/c/spotlights/spot-able.html. I highly recommend he get one to save up any money he gets before applying. There are some restrictions on what you can pay for, but I can tell you it's the reason I can buy snacks and a laptop while I'm in a nursing home. My guess is that they don't cover replacement parts, so they are not liable if something went wrong with them or if they were placed incorrectly.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.